Here's more wrestling news for January 4th, 2022. And your headlines for this afternoon include Alexa Bliss return to WWE confirmed. What does the company have planned? Raw Women's Division struggles once more with lack of depth. What happened backstage during Final Raw of 2021? WWE on-screen personality begs obsessed fan to stop after blocking over a dozen accounts. Tommaso Ciampa reaches huge milestone in NXT 2.0. AEW announces price rise for streaming service. 5 names confirmed for Men's Royal Rumble match during Raw. Who's in the match? Released NXT champion sporting new look during wait for non-compete clause to end. Former NXT Women's Champion's first appearance and new name confirmed post-WWE, and more. We're kicking off with Raw as the Red Brand's women's division has been struggling as of late, but next week we'll get a much-needed shot in the arm. It's been confirmed that after months away, Alexa Bliss is returning, and next week will be the first chapter of her journey back to Raw. It appears that Bliss's return will have some cinematic aspect and comes after the former women's champion last appeared at Extreme Rules 2021, where she was beaten by Charlotte Flair, who proceeded to destroy Lily. It's been rumored that Bliss will be returning as her original character and ditching the more fantastical elements she's had for the past year and a half, but that won't be confirmed until she actually appears. Bliss's return is certainly a positive for Raw, who've been in need of another big name in their women's division, and with the Royal Rumble not far off, she could make quite an impact in the 30-woman match. Bliss's return is a highlight for Raw's women's division, but that doesn't mean it doesn't still have plenty of problems that need to be addressed. On this week's Raw, Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH faced Carmella and Zelina Vega in a match that gave fans serious deja vu. These four have been wrestling each other for months, with little story behind it other than WWE's insistence on having Nikki, a former Raw Women's Champion, keep on losing for her team. To put it into perspective, the last time Zelina Vega wasn't in a match that featured either Nikki ASH or Rhea Ripley was the October 21st Raw, where she defeated Doudrop. At this point, we wouldn't be surprised if WWE plans on having these teams face each other each week until WrestleMania, with each match they have providing diminishing returns. This isn't a problem for just these four, as Becky Lynch seems in an endless loop of facing Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan, 2 women that she's already beaten. One reason for this repetitiveness is that WWE has released so many women that there's few left to actually book, and this entire lack of depth in the women's division is making for some struggling television. More from Raw, as last week was the final episode of the Red Brand in 2021, but this show had to go ahead without some huge names backstage. We previously reported that several decision-makers, including Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, weren't around, but these two were just the tip of the iceberg. Fightful Select now reports that in addition to McMahon and Pritchard, Kevin Dunn was absent, as was Michael Hayes and WWE Authority figure Adam Pearce. In addition to being an authority figure, Pearce serves as a WWE producer, and the show also went ahead without James Gibson, Sean Daivari, Pat Buck, or TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd. Fightful went on to say that Raw was ran by a skeleton crew last week, and several superstars including Bobby Roode, Rhea Ripley, Zelina Vega, Finn Balor, and Austin Theory were also absent. With WWE not disclosing the results of tests, we can't say for sure who tested positive and who was kept away as a precaution, but the final Raw of 2021 had to go ahead minus many important people. As a member of the WWE on-screen team, Kayla Braxton has earned herself thousands of fans over the years, but one individual has taken things way too far. On Twitter, Braxton told her followers that one obsessed fan believes they're in a relationship with her and that she's had to block 14 different accounts from the same individual. The fan in question believes they're dating Braxton not because of any interaction they've had, but because an account impersonating the WWE interviewer has convinced them that's the case. This situation sounds eerily similar to Eliza Spencer, the 24-year-old fan who attacked Seth Rollins because he believed an account impersonating Rollins was the real deal and had lost thousands of dollars to the fake account. Braxton ended her tweet by asking both the fan and the impersonator to stop this, and we certainly hope they do just that. When Samoa Joe was forced to vacate the NXT title last year, Tommaso Ciampa won the gold, marking the Blackheart's second reign with the title. Now Ciampa's second reign has reached a major milestone, as he's now passed 100 days since winning the gold. If you add this to the 238-day first reign, which sadly ended due to injury, then Ciampa can easily be considered one of the greatest NXT champions ever, but we'll have to see if he can keep hold of the title when he defends against Braun Breaker at NXT's New Year's Evil. AEW news now, as thanks to AEW Plus, fans around the world are able to watch weekly AEW programming, but they'll now be paying more for the experience. In a statement, it was announced that AEW Plus will increase the price starting on January 8th, increasing $2 a month to $6.99. To make up for this increase, FITE will be sending subscribers $2 FITE credit each month, which can be collected and used for future pay-per-view events that they provide. January 8th will also mark the Battle of the Belts event, which will also be aired on AEW Plus on FITE, and given the massive support the company has earned, we're sure plenty of people will willingly pay the extra $2 a month to watch the promotion's programming. Back to WWE, as with day one in the history books, attention turns to the Royal Rumble, with several names being announced for the Men's Rumble match on this week's Raw. Last night, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic were announced for the match, as were the Street Profits, and Austin Theory was personally announced for the Men's Rumble match by Mr. McMahon himself. These five joined Jackass star Johnny Knoxville, who announced that he will be in the Royal Rumble match a few days ago. There's no word yet on who will be in the Women's Rumble match, but we do know that WWE doesn't have enough women on the main roster for the 30-person match. But expect more names to be announced for both Rumble matches in the coming weeks. One name who certainly won't be involved is Keith Lee, who was released last year and is now sporting a new look. On Twitter, the former NXT and North American champion posted a photo from one of his training sessions where he's spotting a snazzy gray beard. Calling the look a Samuel L. Jackson meme, Lee added that it's time to start considering what is next for his career, as he'll become a free agent in just a few weeks on February 2nd. Released on November 4th, Lee was cut from WWE the same day as his fiancée Mia Yim, so perhaps the two will work together on the indies when their non-compete clauses expire next month. And we're ending today with Ember Moon, who was also released from WWE last November, and despite returning to NXT, had been under a main roster contract. This means that Moon has been dealing with a 90-day non-compete clause, but we now know that she'll be making her return to wrestling with a new name. It's been confirmed that Moon will now go by her real name Athena, and will be at the Baltimore Celeb Fest on February 6th in her first post-WWE appearance. There's no word yet on who the former NXT Women's Champion will face when she inevitably wrestles again, but fans won't have to wait long to see Athena once more. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.